Hello and welcome to the Bird Brief. This is Stephanie Jenkins Aslett, avian ecologist. Get ready. This week, we're diving into how last year's record heat is reshaping habitats and migration, the risks that changing migration patterns pose for aviation, and the science behind hummingbirds' nightly survival trick. Plus, how vultures are creating an environment of doom at a local high school and their great solution for it. Let's get started. So did you feel it? 2024 was hot. 24 was officially the warmest year in U.S. history. The average temperature hit 55.5 degrees Fahrenheit, incredibly 3.5 degrees above the 20th century average, according to NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. 17 states broke their warmest year records, and precipitation was also higher, placing the year in the wettest third of the 130-year climate record. And these trends don't just affect humans. It's altering habitats critical for birds. Wetter conditions might benefit some species, but changing climates could disrupt food availability and breeding cycles for others. Also, it affects migration resources and timing. So, speaking of adjustments, let's talk about how migration impacts aviation. An international database on bird and aircraft incidents show most are happening during August and April, key migration months. But here's the twist. Climate change is shifting these patterns, leading to unexpected bird activity in the winter. So take South Korea's recent incident at the Muan International Airport. A presumed bird strike caused a plane to veer off the runway. Granted,
what?
Which one? Which bird?
Yeah.
I'm not sure which bird. I'll have to check. Granted, bird strikes happen. They just do. Climate change is shifting migration times and complicating predictions on when bird strikes might be more frequent and increasing risks globally, potentially leaving airports in a lurch. They don't have the resources. They don't have resources when they need them at the right time. And according to the article on the Korean Peninsula, climate change is causing some migratory species to become residents, increasing winter populations, and with that, bird strike risks. Research on climate-driven migration shifts is vital for accurate predictions, but also for adequate resources to deter birds at airports to minimize these collisions. Next, researchers in New Mexico are studying how hummingbirds use torpor, a state that's like overnight hibernation, to conserve energy during uncertain conditions. The findings are remarkable. Hummingbirds only enter torpor when their fat reserves dip below 500 milligrams, so they can wake up with at least 180 milligrams so that they make sure they can get to their next meal before they run out of energy. It's a delicate balancing act, one that allows these tiny travelers to survive their arduous, almost 6,000-mile migrations. This research could help guide conservation efforts as climate change disrupts their nectar sources. And now a story from Virginia where hundreds of black vultures have made themselves unwelcome guests at a high school. These birds are harassing livestock at the school's teaching farm and creating a sanitation concern and also a perceived environment of doom, as stated by one of the school staff. And having not been in high school in a while, I still think I can say with certainty that high schoolers don't really need less incentive to go to school or, more doom. So the solution, hanging effigies of dead vultures to scare them away. It's a grim yet effective tactic provided by the USDA. Why, you ask? Because it seems to really work well, particularly with social birds, like vultures. And once there's a few dead vultures in the mix, they're moving on. We'll let you know how it goes, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be successful. So with that, this is Stephanie Jenkins Aslett, and thanks for listening to The Bird Brief. We focus on breaking news and groundbreaking research, but truth be told, it doesn't actually need to be groundbreaking, but it has to be relevant and fascinating. And when it comes down to it, it needs to make us want to care about the aspects of the world that maybe we don't key into every day. So I hope that one of these stories did that. Thank you for listening, and please tune in 2 weeks for the next rundown, or should I say feather down, of the birds we love.